Kettlebell Club. Buenas tardes. Buenas noches, amigos. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's the old intro, baby. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Where's Angie? Where's Angie? Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. I'm feeling well today. How do you guys feel? I see in the live chat, the Kettlebell Club is already rocking. Let's see if everything's nice and fine. Yes, it's great. It's great. Guys, how do you like the new setup? How do you like it? Some new, some new designs over my head. And as you can see, the live chat is right on now. Now everybody can see when people are commenting, when everybody's having a good time. It's good stuff. Good stuff. And Scott, no, I'm not using the new equipment. For those of you who follow our Instagram or our Facebook, I just got the new iMac. 27-inch, baby. It's great stuff. We're going to talk about it soon. But welcome everybody to another edition of this podcast. I really love talking to you guys. I do this for my addiction because I'm addicted to talk. I'm addicted to talking, to speaking. Sometimes Angie tells me to shut up. But when I'm here with the mic, nobody can tell me to shut up. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. We have a lot of ground to cover as usual. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. But first of all, I want to send you my love and my deepest gratitude that you guys are joining us, not only on the podcast, but joining us on our live workouts, joining us on our content, watching the stuff, liking the stuff, commenting the stuff, subscribing to our channel. We see a lot of growth happening. That's the reason why this new beast of an iMac was warranted, and we are really upgrading the studio. When I think about it, the things that I'm doing now, probably let's say like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you probably would have needed a whole studio and people and equipment that costs thousands and thousands of dollars now, or Swiss francs. Now it's all compressed. It's a beautiful age that we live in that has some that brings some problems with it. I've recently read about a great comment in the Precision Nutrition group that I'm part of. Just a little side note, Precision Nutrition they're the market leader when it comes to nutrition coaching. This is where I got certified. I got level 1 and level 2. And level 2 is a whole year of coaching with your coach where you're taking part of a 1-year course. And what I've learned from Precision Nutrition is just mind-boggling good stuff that I've learned from them. And somebody in the group posted, we're not living in the age of information. We're living in the age of input, because what a human being now gets the input. In 1 year, a normal person in today's day and age gets the input, the amount of input that a person 100 years ago probably got the whole 10 years or 50 years. I'm paraphrasing, but what the person wanted to say is that it's not the age of information, it's the age of input. We get so many inputs, and we have to understand and stay very careful with our gates, the eyes and ears, who we choose to listen to, what we choose to watch, because everything that goes in here most definitely goes down in here into the heart. And the Bible says what the heart is full of, the mouth speaks. So, and the Bible also says that we have to put a guardian here and here to these two inputs. So it's the age of input that we live in. So, but guys, I'm really just flattered that you guys are joining, and it's so great that you even like the interview that I did with Dennis. I think it opened up a whole can of worms. It's so great when you talk to great minds in the kettlebell world that are so humble. Dennis is such a humble person. And I highly recommend, if you didn't watch the 2-hour interview, I know it's a lot of time. I know it's 2 hours of your time, but I will guarantee you it will be worth your time if you're into kettlebells, because what he shared with us is of course I paid him for the interview, and I paid him for the critique. You got to imagine, I paid him for the critique only, for the long cycle and the snatch. And the interview, he said, I'm going to do it for free. So you see what kind of dude this person is. So I highly recommend you follow Dennis. Dennis is a beast in a class of its own. And if you're into kettlebells, do it. So now, guys, let's dive into the ground that we have to cover. We have 18 people in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. I see the Kettlebell Club's always rocking. Good stuff, guys. You know we love you. And hey, Kettlebell Club, listen, we got some merch. We finally bought and have done some Kettlebell Club merchandise. And tomorrow, if I'm correct, Angie and me, we're going to rock the merch in the live stream, and you guys gotta check it out. It's
new
shirts.
Subscriber, welcome to the channel.
Somebody just joined the channel. Good stuff. Thank you so much for subscribing. But you have to imagine, guys, it's shirts
New
for men.
subscriber, welcome to the channel.
Somebody else just joined, guys. So awesome. And I'm, if it's just maybe interrupting a little bit, I'm always checking if the stuff is working, and it's working. Good stuff. It's working. So, shirts for men, shirts for women, and we got mugs. Mugs, these bottles that you can drink out of with the LS Kettlebell. You're going to love it. We're going to showcase it tomorrow in the stream. So now, let's dive into it. But before we want to get started, as usual, a message from our sponsor.
Stravo, my name is of no importance to you. Just know this, I sponsored today's video of Lebe. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
You heard what he said, guys. And Alexia, I'm checking the chat, guys. I'm always checking the chat. Yes, sometimes it gets transparent, but that's the idea. It's not to, it's a mixture. Sometimes it gets white, then it gets transparent. Just some little action above, but it shouldn't be misleading, or it shouldn't take away from my beautiful face or from the workout that you guys are watching. But thanks for the input, Alexia. Guys, if you have any inputs, please let me know. But now let's dive into the stuff, and let's see. And just for you to understand, guys, if you're part of this channel, if you're part of Lebe, guys, if you've subscribed, if you are a member, if you're just watching the stuff and you follow our journey, what you will encounter is change. We are continuously changing because we are in the business of change, and I never shy away from change. And if you watch our live workouts, you see a lot of change happening from how we started. That's ages ago. But how it all developed, even with the live workouts, and how they're now structured. The structure is always almost the same, but the exercises are sometimes mixed a little bit. Sometimes we stay true to the basics, like you always know on Monday, for example. And but we mix it up with the overlays, with the streaming stuff, because like I mentioned in the story, and I'm digressing a little bit, but it's a podcast, guys, so I keep rambling and talking, but I promise we got a lot of good stuff. But I think, I don't want to sound arrogant on this one, but I believe, as I'm following these streamers, for example, Dr. Disrespect or Alpha Gaming, or all these huge streamers, Z-Laner is a very good, very, is a young guy. upcoming Call of Duty Warzone streamer, streams with Dr. Disrespect. As I'm watching how these streamers develop, I'm taking a lot of stuff from them. And you know what's crazy? Live workout streaming isn't a thing or isn't out there. Even when the pandemic hit, there are some channels who do live streaming or live workouts. Of course, live workouts, I gotta be exact, but kettlebells as well, but not in high quality. And this is my goal. I want to be one of the first who actually streams, or we want to be one of the first who actually stream high quality TV quality style of live workouts. And you see all, with the overlays and with the transitions and with the round and how you guys can be interactive and vote. This is my goal with the live workouts, because I believe a few years down the road, maybe live workout streaming will probably be as big as live gaming. So this is my vision. And even with the kettlebell, as we have all now found out, it's such a great tool that you don't need a lot of stuff. Okay, and we get so much feedback from you guys, how you all like and love the workouts, which we really, really dig. Now, as you can see, I'm still big. You still see my beautiful face. When you see right there, I think it was right to the right or to the left. Getting it confused sometimes. This is where we now chop up the stuff that we got going. And let's jump into it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Still got 16 people in the chat. So good. And keep watching these comments. Man, it's only 16 folks in the chat, but you guys are nuts in the chat. That's why I love the Kettlebell Club. When the Kettlebell Club's rocking, the chat's nuts. It's on fire. Now, let's dive into it. Now, if this is your first time here, I really want to acknowledge the Kettlebell Club. You see how I'm always talking to the folks in the Kettlebell Club, the awesome logo that they got next to the name, the LS logo that they got, and the custom emojis that you can use, the private Facebook group where really, since the Kettlebell Club jumped into the private Facebook group, because we have the Kettlebell Academy as well, where we have online courses. Most of them are in German, but some of you probably checked out 30 Days of Kettlebells. This is the only English course that we got running right now. And since the Kettlebell Club jumped into the Facebook group, the Facebook group's exploding, which I really love, because the Kettlebell Club is on fire. It's good stuff. I love you guys. So, you get custom emojis, you get the private Facebook group, you get the LS logo next to your name, and most of our live workouts are members only in the chat. So if you have a great idea for the finisher when you join a live workout, you have to be part of the club if you want to let us know your idea. I know this is something that we can improve, because sometimes when Angie and me, we're skimming through the comments and we're already burned, our brains are already on fire, and so then we don't even see the suggestions. And sometimes I'm like, I don't see no suggestions. Let's do whatever finisher that crosses my mind. And then once I'm rewatching the stream, I'm seeing that you guys have brought some great suggestions. I'm like, man, our brain is just too burned up. So we have to, improve in that case. But, this is the Kettlebell Club, and you find a link in the description. Like I mentioned, you get these awesome emojis. You get the awesome logo next to your name. You can be part of the Facebook group, and it's only $5.95 per month. So $5.95 Swiss francs per month. That's about $7 per month. That's about €5 per month. You get these awesome perks, and you can of course support the Kettlebell, our YouTube channel, which the traction that we're getting, it's just off the hook. And of course, we always appreciate the same value. We give you the same value. We appreciate you the same if you subscribe to the channel and if you like the stuff that we're doing, and maybe dislike it. Sometimes we get dislikes that, some of them are trolls, of course, and some of them are just folks who don't like me or don't like Angie. That happens when you have a YouTube channel that gains a little bit of traction. But sometimes the dislikes are there to show that, hey, your community doesn't like this, or maybe not as many people like the stuff. So that's great analytics for us to understand what you guys want, because the market dictates what we have to do. That's what's up, guys. So And of course, as usual, we have a Q&A session. I got the chat right here. So sometimes I'm jumping into the chat, seeing what you guys are saying, seeing what you guys are posting. And you see right, I think on my right or to my left, you see that the chat is already lit. Folks are going nuts. And I see that the socials are getting a little bit covered up. So this is stuff that we have to work on. And on top, you see, just to briefly mention this, you see the club leader. Guys, the folks who are donating to our stream, this is accumulated. You see? Whenever you donate something to the stream, what you can do is the whole money is accumulated. And the people who donate the most are the club leaders. And right now, it's Jose and Alexia. We love you guys because you know what Jose and Alexia do? Every Saturday, they donate $25. Every Saturday. And they say, thank you for this week's workouts. We really appreciate it. This is not something that you can ask for. And we really appreciate it. You don't have to, of course. You can watch the stuff for free and get in good shape, and that's good. But you're able to become the club leader if you donate a little bit of money to the chat. And right next to it, you can see is I'm gonna have to check myself because I'm always changing things. You see, the recent club member is Philip Bedos. So if you become a member, you got your name up here. And when we're podcasting, you say today's podcast topic that we have is the hybrid training philosophy. This is something that really, I love to talk about this because this is something that really opened up. It's like something fell from my eyes because sometimes you don't see the forest for the trees, right? And when I had this interview with Dennis, this hit me like a rock, this hybrid training philosophy. And of course, you see your host on top, myself. So, and in the live workouts, we're now using this almost in the same version, except where we have today's topic. When it's the podcast, we have today's exercises, and then we have instead of your host, it says how many rounds. So this is how we're improving the chat, and I think you guys will like it. So thank you so much. Now let's start. I wanted to start with a story, but I'm already 20 minutes in, and I already shared a bunch of stories, but that's what the podcast is for, guys. So I appreciate you guys are bearing with me. Now, listen, I like this. When I ordered the iMac, this 27-inch beast, right? When I ordered it, I was like, I had to think about it for about the 7 to 10 days. Now, this is not directly kettlebell related, guys. Just if a heads up, we talk a lot of kettlebell stuff, but sometimes I'm digressing a little bit. When I ordered the iMac, I was like, wow, it's gonna cost a lot of money. It's not money that is hazardous to the business. It's not something that we cannot carry. Even with our financial background and financial reserves, it's not something that would almost kill us. But it's still, it's still an investment that you have to think about. So I was thinking about it. I always ponder about these bigger investments, and maybe it's the same thing with you now with the kettlebell. You're thinking about, man, should I get an adjustable kettlebell? So should I pay more for a competition, or should I get the cheaper ones? These are just normal thoughts that cross your mind. So maybe I can help you with making a decision on how to invest. So I was thinking about it for about 7 days now. And I always have this rule of thumb that, if I need something, or if an investment is due to the business, then I'm like, okay, let's think about it. So I pondered about it for 7 days. And then I finally decided, I was like, okay, let's do it. Now, the new iMac is going to be a beast. It is a beast. It's standing right next to me, and it's waiting to be unfolded and used. Now, we got 72 gigs of RAM. I got the expensive one because it got the new graphics card, the Radeon XT. XT 5700 with 16 gigs of RAM, of power. The graphics card only is now more powerful than my whole system right now. So it's packed with power, because even when the editing process with Premiere and all that stuff, I need something that's more faster. So the investment was due. So maybe now, if you think about it, maybe, okay, gyms are closed and I need something to work out with, and I've thought about it, and I've watched some videos from some good channels. I read some good stuff about the kettlebell, and now I'm thinking about it. Now it's worth the investment. Then do it. Invest a little more. Because if you save money on the wrong ends, maybe you would pay double in the end. Because if I would have used the smaller iMac with still 27-inch or even a 21-inch, it wouldn't have served my needs. So I was Googling, I was checking out YouTube, I was checking out the stuff, and what they said on YouTube, they were like, man, if you're using video, if you're doing live streaming, you gotta opt in for this one. Yeah, it's the most expensive one, or more expensive, but it will be worth it in the end. And now I'm telling you, I'm so happy that I invested the money, because those nerves, they got wrecked when these glitches took off in the live stream. If you've ever been a part of our YouTube workouts, and maybe you saw the glitches, you know, you guys are having a fun time. You're like, oh man, Gypsy's maybe eating the cable and stuff, and having some funny conversations while I'm going nuts and Angel's going nuts, and we're losing a lot of precious time. And then we have to unwind and try stuff, and then at the end it works out. And then sometimes, and then you gotta go, okay, now let's go into workout mode, let's go into live streaming entertainment mode. And sometimes that negative energy pushes through, and then the workout's not as good. So this investment is worth it. So think about it, ponder about it. And I came up with the sentence. I said, while others are complaining, we are upgrading. I got to say this again. While others are complaining, we are upgrading. Now, just a brief one, a brief story in this one. I was in, there's a big newspaper in Switzerland. It's called 20 Minuten, okay, 20 minutes. That's the English translation. Now, what they had is they were interviewing a bunch of folks from the fitness industry in Switzerland. And you know what they did? They were all complaining. And while I do understand that there is maybe some, let's say, some space or some room to complain, rightfully so, there is one question that you have to ask yourself. Is it worth my time? Is it worth my energy to invest that energy into crying, complaining, yelling to get things better? Because most of the time, I say 99% or 95% of the time, things don't get better if you start complaining, unless you take it to the streets, right? Walking around with picket fence and stuff. And even then, it's not guaranteed that things are going to change. So the question is, your individual situation. How am I going to invest energy? And guys, I've invested energy since the pandemic hit. It's now over 1 year into our online branching out. And now it slowly comes back. And I feel that there's a lot of potential where maybe one day this whole online thing will take over our existing business. I see this down the road because this is how the future is developing. All right. So I'm future proofing my business. And now it's a little small, but I got over here, I got all the stuff that I've invested. I've bought so much stuff. I've bought RAM, I've bought the iMac, I've bought all the cables, I bought another camera, I bought another stuff to connect all this. I've spent a lot of money on this online thing. And you know, the money that comes back does not, I have to mention, does not right now pay for all of this. It's still the coaching, but it's slowly coming, and I have to be patient. And I see what the future holds. So I want to be independent, right? You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying if you keep complaining, yes, there is a room, and the Bible says that as well. There is a room to cry. There is a room to yell. There is a room to lay down and put ashes on your head and you know, think that the world is bad and everything and you're lost. And then, but at the end of the day, you got to get up. Right? You got to get up and stop the complaining. Because nothing's going to change if you keep crying. Yes, there is room to cry, but at the end of the day, you gotta use something. You gotta do something. At least that's my point of view, because nobody's gonna do something for you. You know, even in Switzerland, the state does a lot for us, and it helped us out. You know, probably a fraction, but at least they did something. But I didn't depend on this. And in this interview, the fitness industry in Switzerland are just two folks. They chose two folks. And that's always crazy. You always choose the sides that keep complaining, or you choose the sides that have only one point of view. Instead of just let's talk to somebody who's crying and let's talk to somebody who's flourishing. Because in every crisis, you have losers and winners. Let's bring them both to the table. And please don't misunderstand. I still do understand why people are crying. And I still feel with them. I even watched a video of one gym owner. He was crying, man. He was crying. He was yelling. He was filming himself. And then he said, well, I built this for over 10 years and I have a lot of people that I have to pay all those, all the salary and stuff. And please open up and get. And it touched my heart. He really pulled on my heartstrings. But you know what? Emotions, feelings, heartstrings don't have nothing to do with economics, situations, crises, businesses, the free marketplace. Just because you're crying, the world is not going to stop. Just because your whole business that you've built for 10 years is not going to stop the virus from spreading. All right? So you have to do, or at least try to do something. If my ship goes under, at least I'll be the one who say, listen, I did everything I could. Everything I could. Man, I'm going on a tangent right now. I'm ranting a little bit. But I do not understand why folks keep complaining, and especially in the fitness industry. And this is an obsolete model. Let me tell you, I'm not the only one. And I always say this, please, 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 listen to other people as well. But I see experts who are close to the zeitgeist. You know what they say? They say it's an obsolete model. People walking into a hall where they have a bunch of machines, and then, you have one session with the coach and then do it yourself. You never even break a sweat at the machine, and then you follow some type of split for a bodybuilder. Well, most people don't need a bodybuilding split. Most people don't need to train like bodybuilders because they don't want to look like bodybuilders. Yet we tell folks who want to lose weight to do a biceps curl. What's this is used for? This is useless, guys. This is useless. You don't burn no calories doing biceps curls. Most people want to lose weight. Most people want to get in shape. Yet they follow a bodybuilding type of routine. This is actually stupid. And this is what the fitness industry has been touting for years. And you know what? If you say something, I said something once. In our area, I was doing out-of-door marketing, some billboards. And I said, do you have success in the gym? ? And you know what happened? People went nuts. Somebody even called me up, was like, "Oh, you crazy?" Because you know what? The obsolete model, people don't want to change. The fitness industry don't want to change. They still want to sit on their butts, make boatload of money from people who pay in January and then don't come. I'm telling you the truth, man. Statistics are clear. 70% of the people don't go to the gym anymore once they've been there. Once. And listen, folks who don't know nothing about lifting and training and exercising go to the gym. They have one session with the coach. Is it crazy? And then what? You pick up a barbell? With one session of the coach? You never pick up a barbell. Because even though compound movements would be the best thing to do to burn calories, yet they don't pick up barbells because they think, well, that's too crazy. I don't know how to handle it. So I'm sticking to a chest press. It's useless stuff, guys. Oh, this machine, adductors, all women want this. You know why they want it? Because they think it's building, I want to tone my legs. I want to burn the fat on my legs. I'm real with you right now. I'm in a tangent right now. I'm ranting right now. But it's real. I got to tell you, folks. Punctual spot reducing fat is impossible. Don't do this exercise. This is useless because you will not burn fat on your legs, on your inner thighs. You won't. Even on your outer thighs, you won't. Your muscle will grow and then even your legs will get bigger. What's the idea? The idea is to burn calories as a whole. Make your body burn as much calories as possible. And now, man, I'm going nuts. But I like it. Let's check out what the chat is saying, man. I'm freestyling. You guys are nuts in the chat. Let's check out what the chat is saying. Hey, Kettlebell Club, man. How am I supposed to do this podcast if you guys are going nuts in the chat, guys? How am I supposed to do this podcast in under 2 hours? Oh, it's just too much, man. Guys, I'm going to have to check the chat. But man, we have ground to cover. So let's stop ranting, Gregory. Stop it. And let's jump into it. Now, we always get some awesome feedback on our channel. And before we want to dive into the feedback, guys, I wanna really break this down, this hybrid training philosophy. When I was interviewing Dennis, all right, I had this realization while I was interviewing him. What is kettlebell sport, guys? Guys, when we do kettlebell sport, we use the methodology. We use the philosophy. But we don't train according to their ideology because they're working for sports performance. They want to get in those reps. And like in weightlifting, where you have the clean and jerk, the snatch and the bench press, this is where kettlebell sport came from. They have the jerk, the snatch, and the long cycle. And according to Dennis, the long cycle came in about at the beginning of the 2000s, the end of the 1990s. This is where the long cycle came in. It's just clean and jerk with 2 kettlebells. Jerk with 2 kettlebells and snatch with 1 kettlebell. So while I was interviewing Dennis, I realized, they follow a regime that most of us who do it for looking better, getting fit, getting stronger, and increasing and building endurance, we don't train like them. But we use the methodology. We use the training style. So that's the reason why I realized I'm actually a hybrid, or we're doing hybrid stuff. So what we do is, first of all, we use the kettlebell sport style method for all ballistic movements, because Turkish get up is not kettlebell sport. Goblet squat is not kettlebell sport. Strict press is not kettlebell sport. Windmills, not kettlebell sport. All right? These are the so-called grinding lifts. And we can say maybe Pavel brought them in. All right? But even Dennis said, he can imagine that even back then when they were doing training for sports, when you do the kettlebell sport, you have an additional program that's called the GPP, the General Physical Preparation, right? And GPP is something that I will call, when I do push-ups, pull-ups, back squats, deadlifts with barbells and stuff like this. So the GPP for them is what we do as a whole. We use the sports style method for ballistics, but we also use the grinding lifts. That maybe when you watch, for example, Dennis, how he does it, he does back squats, but he does them for his GPP because he's highly focused on jerk, snatch, and long cycle. And second of all, so we use the grinding lifts as part of the routine, and and I like this, we incorporate the mindset of the kettlebell sport style. Now, what does that mean? You know what that means? Incorporating the mindset of the kettlebell sport style is when I do a Turkish get-up, for example, I make sure that the kettlebell is very deep in the hand insertion, very deep, all right? So it's right down my palm, right here on my finger, no contact with the palm, just here in between the middle, the root where the wrist starts, right down. So as soon as I start the Turkish get up, my idea is I want to use, as quick as possible, I want to use skeletal support. Skeletal support is the idea where your whole frame carries the weight and not your muscles. So this is where, for example, the mindset of the sport style comes in. I want to be efficient when I do the Turkish get up. Or when I do a strict press, I still choose the rack rest position so I can relax and I can rack the kettlebell, build some power up and press it up, all right? So this is where I'm using, even though grinding lifts are not a part of the kettlebell sport, when I do them, I use the mentality, the methodology, and the mindset of the kettlebell sport style. And this is something that really hit me. So what we actually do is we mix the styles in different training methods, and they wholly depend on goals. They depend on your goal. If you want to become better with the jerk, or you want to get a 90 reps long cycle in 10 minutes, you want to get those 90 reps in with 24s, 28, or professional weight, 28, 32s, if you're a man, and I think women is 20, 24. Then you know what? I'm the wrong guy. Then you got to talk to Dennis because he specialized in these 3 exercises. And that's something that really hit me. So actually what I do, number 4, is I'm continuing what Steve Carter has started because Steve is actually this. He uses the methodology of the sports style, but also uses the grinding lifts. That's why Steve is a different beast than Pavel, because Pavel uses his own style. Even they don't even use the jerk. I think they don't use a long cycle, and when they snatch, they do it in a completely different way. Right? So this is just good stuff. This is a philosophy that really came up. I was like, whoa, for real. I'm continuing what Steve Carter has started. That's why when Steve visited us in 2019, I've said this 1,000 times. I'm going to say it 1,000 times more. It was the pivotal moment of my career. And now I'm circling back, understanding where he went. He took the same approach like I'm doing now. He was under Pavel. He said, well, I don't think that's the right way to train. Or at least he said, well, I'll go into the motherland of the kettlebell, which was Russia. But, according to history, it was even in the States and in Germany. Very interesting. But he went to Russia, and then he dove into the style. And he was like, whoa, that's the way to train, and I like it. So I'm doing the same. I started with the typical hard style stuff, didn't know how the nuances of the sports style are. And after, when Steve visited us, I took a deep dive. Good stuff, guys. We have 21 people in chat. Thank you so much for joining. So now, this is something that we got this quite a lot. And, we're going to put this one into two parts. Progressive training with kettlebells. How can you progress? And this interview with Dennis revolutionized my thinking, because I used to, even though my thinking is still kind of in line with this ideology, some aspects I didn't consider. That's why it's always good. Talk to great minds of the niche that you're in. Talk to these minds. Don't only just watch videos. Talk to them in person. Because what Steve shared to me in person or online was nothing that he shared on social, or maybe he shared it, but sometimes somewhere it got lost. So, what I believe, if you want to progress with training, you're asking yourself this question: hey, how can I progress? Or not how, when should I progress? And how? It's both, all right? So the first thing that you do is you increase the time. Okay, so let's say, for example, I'm doing a snatch. And why do we always, I think number one is time, because the 4-time method is the best way to train with kettlebells, because it doesn't involve the confusion that maybe arise or that may happen when you start counting inside your head. So you increase the time. Let's say you're able to do 1 minute of snatch with your left arm with let's say 12 kilo, all right? Don't step it up with the weight. Go up to 2 minutes. Now go up to 3 minutes, and so forth. All right. We're going to dive into it deeper in part 2. The second thing that you want to increase is your reps or your speed. Go faster. And if you've been watching our live workouts, before the interview with Dennis, I was using the 28s and the 32s for clean and jerks and snatches and stuff. And I've stopped using them. Not because I'm scared of them, but because Dennis told me, bruh, please increase time, then increase the speed. And working load, which we're going to talk about in a bit, but you can use a workload. Let's say you do 10 reps with the 24, that's 240 kilos. Now you do 6 reps, what's that? 7 reps with the 32. That's 210 kilos, almost the same weight. Go for the 24, because you probably are safer with the lighter weight, and you'll improve your technique. Point number 3 is you decrease your rest periods. And we're already pretty low with 1 minute break after 6 minutes of work. And number 4, then you increase the weight. That's good stuff. Now that's part 2. And this progressive training methodology that I'm sharing with you now is strictly reserved to the ballistics. I think the grinding lifts are not in, or I think some aspects of this progressive idea can be used for the grinding lifts. Yet at the same time, most people, once you got a deadlift down pat, it's good. Snatches take you an eternity to learn. So that's why most people, I think, are asking the question, because if a deadlift, you do 10 reps with a 32, you got to use, if you're strong, you got to use a pretty heavy kettlebell. That's why Dennis even said, kettlebells are not there to make you pretty strong. If you want to go be stronger, do the powerlifting moves, right? And use heavy weights. But it's that perfect mix, strength, endurance, fitness, right? So if we talk about now in detail about the time, all right, increasing time, you want to reach 5 minutes per side. So you say you got a snatch, like I mentioned, 12 kilo, 1 minute. Upgrade it to 5 minutes per side, one side only. And this is something that I already shared in weight progression. So let's say you're able to do with the snatch 5 minutes with your right arm, 5 minutes with your left arm with the 12, and your form is good or it even gets better. Upgrade to the next one. Or 10 minutes if it's doubles. If you say you do jerks or the long cycle, you're able to do 1 minute of jerks. Don't upgrade the weight. Upgrade to 2, 3, 4, 5 until you got 10 minutes. Then you can increase the weight. Number 2, if we increase the speed, and this is what I'm doing now in the live workouts, I go faster until I've reached a given number of reps. Now with the snatch, I'm aiming for 20 to 22 reps per minute with the 20 kilo. And I want to keep this at a high pace, high level, all 4 rounds. I want to keep this. And what this also does is, I'm going to jump into this, what it actually does. And then I'm decreasing the rest, decreasing breaks between sets or even exercises. Let's say now I'm doing, let's say I do 3 minutes of snatches, and then I'm so gassed that I got to take a 5-minute break. Then you still do 3 minutes of sets, 3 minutes of snatches, and maybe use 4 minutes. Then 3 minutes of snatch. Then you go down to 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. That's how you increase endurance and fitness. And at the end of the day, it's the weight. And Dennis said you can upgrade 2 to 4 kilo increments, and depends on your goal. I know where Dennis is coming from, because if we look at the sports style method, you want to increase your jerk. He laid out he was on the surface with this one, but he laid out the specific plan that I think it was 3 weeks before the competition. You're doing 7-minute sets. I'm paraphrasing. Maybe I'm wrong. He said something else, but you get what I'm saying. What he said, to be general, a few weeks before the competition, you do a specific training routine that you have to follow. And so the increments of the weights are 2 kilos. Because I think Rudnev brought this into the world, 2 kilo increments. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and on and on. And I would say if you're not doing the sports style method, or if you don't want to hit the competition, you can upgrade the 4 kilo. Because what Pavel said, and what he's right, and what I think he's right, the 4 kilo, the heavy increment of 4 kilo, forces your body to become stronger at an instant, and it gives you a check, a pretty fast check, if your technique is safe or not. So you see, it depends on your goal, depends on where you want to go. And what does this all do? Why follow this progression? Because you will follow the method that I call now a death by 1,000 cuts. What does that mean? You do thousands of reps. I'm following, he said, Dennis said, follow this type of training now 4 to 8 weeks. You know what I'm going to do the next 4 to 8 weeks? Using 20 kilo only. 20 kilo only. Making sure I'm able to stick to the 20 reps per minute pace when it comes to the snatch. Just an example. Making sure the technique is safe. Making sure my legs are 95% locked when I'm in the backswing, because that's this is the problem that I'm having at the snatch or even at the clean. Sometimes I don't lock my knees, and you don't have to lock the knees to 100%. I'm always saying 90 to 95%, because this actually releases some tension from your quads, so you can work longer. So this is my idea. This is the thing that I want to follow. This is the idea, because thousands of reps will improve your form, because you actually will jump into so-called muscle memory. And muscle memory, I like it. This is what Dennis said. It's good stuff, man. Dennis said, you know what muscle memory does? Muscle memory makes sure that your form is still safe. You're almost doing it unconsciously, almost mindlessly. even if your system is burning or if you're under stress. So under stress is like running. Your body doesn't understand whether this is running away from a lion or going nuts because the kettlebell is always almost burning you. All right, and you want to put it down. So once you go heavy, or you're heavy with the breathing, the fitness, and you're like, oh man, I gotta keep going. And then the death of 1,000 cuts regime, those thousands of reps will be right tucked into your muscle memory. And what this does, this muscle memory will make it so that your technique still stays safe if you're under stress. Because most of us, when we're under stress and when we get tired, this is where injuries happen. And this is where a good coach steps in and tells you, put the weight down. Put the weight down. No, keep going. No, put it down. Because your form is now so terrible that you might hurt yourself. And even, this is a philosophy that even Pavel talks about in his book, Simple and Sinister, where he says, if your form starts breaking, stop it. Put it down. Don't, and even if you follow our live workouts, don't try to imitate or emulate Angie or me when we go at a fast pace with a technique that's maybe a little better, or maybe just there's more reps in it, and you think, oh, I gotta follow them, and then you burn yourself, and then injury risk is high, and then you destroy yourself, the shoulder's broken, or it's dislocated, and boom, and then you have to stop your workout session for your workout regimen for 3 months. There was somebody in the comments who said, when he followed the Simple and Sinister program, I think he followed it for 12 months, and he was injured about 3 months in those 12 months. And one of the reasons I believe, and this is my critique, where I'm criticizing Simple and Sinister, is because of the weight selection. And we have a video coming up where I'm going in depth into this review. But I think Pavel's pretty crazy with the weights. Because when you watch what Dennis says, most of us use kettlebells for fitness. Men stop at 24 and women stop at 16. Because if you cross the line 24, it's 28, 32s. This is professional weights. Women, you cross the line 20, 24s, professional weights. And you know what? Why they call it professional weights? Because you have to really be careful. Technique has to be safe. Warm-up has to be good. Your triggering has to be strong. You have to be a beast to work with these weights. Yet Pavel says, that's normal. That's a strong gentleman. I would really say, I highly disagree with this notion. And I've been working out with kettlebells very intensively for 1.5 years now. Very intensively. Cannot compare it to back before Steve was here. Even in the pandemic. No injury whatsoever. And if you follow what we do on our live stream, sometimes we go so nuts, even with the weights, and I never hurt myself. I feel that my body is sending some signals telling me maybe I need a rest, and we're planning some rest now, Angie and me. But we keep going. We keep going injury-free. And if you get, I'm still young. I'm 36 years of age. But I know folks in my age range who are hurt all the time. So stay safe. 22 people sitting in the chat. I'm going to take a short break, guys, and go through the chat, and I'm going to be right back. Okay, I'm back, guys. Just wanted to jump through the chat real quick and just reading some stuff that I saw. We got, hey Scott, you're saying, are you rocking your new computer for this live stream? No, like I already mentioned, tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be set up. And Alexa saying, love the new design, but the upper part of the screen, I've already answered this one. Yes, it's not intrusive. That's the word that I was looking for, Alexia. You're awesome. Dennis is awesome and put so much info out there for free. Yes, that's what's up, Dean. He's a tank. And Scott's in the... Alexius, you want some mark? Yeah, you're going to get one. I want a toy gypsy mascot. Dean! Great idea, man. Lean Dean. Keeping us nice and lean. Mean Dean. And here we are. Longto, what do you mean? When are you playing duos? What do you mean with duos, Longto? Can you clarify? Aliyah, you're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Scott, this is why I joined. This is what I've been looking for. Such good stuff. And Dean says, it feels like you're in my room, Gregory, on this big TV. That's awesome. And, oh, man, you guys, we love you guys. That's what I like about the live workouts. MCs, we're all in the same room. Yeah, see, online gets us together, guys. And even in today's day and age, we gotta stick together, folks, because, you know, we got to socialize. Human beings are social. I love the live workouts. There's not much like that on YouTube. Thank you. Danke vielmals, Steffi. Ich habe noch etwas gesehen wegen dem Deutschen, gell? Gehe ich gleich noch darauf ein. Hola, Olivier, ¿qué tal? Saying hello to everybody. The podcast feels like we're having a cup of coffee together. Alexia, that's great. I like having a cup of coffee. I don't actually have a cup of coffee. I have a glass of water. But cheers, guys. Love you. And it's a nice chat. That's what's up. And yeah, Steffi said, I just miss the German subtitles sometimes. I don't always understand everything. Steffi, das ist so etwas, gell, mit dem Deutschen. Ich weiß es. Wir haben ja auf Deutsch Vollgas gegeben und dann haben wir geswitcht auf Englisch. Und Steffi, das ganze Material, wir machen teilweise auch Livestreams auf Instagram. Check uns doch auch dort ab. Und dort haben wir teilweise viel mehr Deutsch. Gell? So thank you very much. And Scott says, it's a huge investment. You got to have peace about it. That's what's up. We always got to have peace about the investment. And Alexa says something. I like this. And she says, with the Mac, you have to buy all the RAM it can admit, the latest processor, and a lot of SSD space. I got 1 terabyte now. I think that's cool. I got an additional, because, man, the SSD space with the Macs is crazy how much they charge. But I got an additional hard drive, which is fine. And Alexia, I like this. Jose is very clear about that. He always says he's willing to invest money on stuff that saves him time and headaches. Boom, Alexia. Good stuff. Good stuff. And Dean, I think you're talking about Johannes Quella. And Steffi says this. What did he do, Steffi? And she says it loosens over time with use and it takes a lot of time to screw and it's very expensive. So what? Was an adjustable kettlebell. Probably an adjustable kettlebell, Steffi, yes. Normal competition kettlebells are best. That's what's up. Yes, they're the best. And you lose weight in the kitchen, not in the gym. Rolf, you're right. Yet at the same time, what is very important, guys, is sometimes you hear this declaration. Folks are like, let's switch to the chat, man. You guys are so awesome. Let's switch to Feel Me. Maybe you maybe hear this. Folks are like, hey, it's 80% nutrition and 20% training, which I don't agree on. I think it's 100% training, 100% nutrition, and 100% regeneration, recuperation. Because if you think, if we place any margins or any numbers, percentage numbers, on any given foundation that is necessary to get in good shape and lose weight, then we automatically think, well, you know, I got the nutrition down pat. Not exclamation. What's this? What's this one? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I got the nutrition down pat, so I just have to work out a little bit. And I don't think that's a great mindset. I think you want to go with a very determined philosophy and idea into the training and into the workout and into the nutrition. Don't mix it up with those numbers. Yeah, you're right. Thanks for clarifying. Okay. Yep. Dean is clarifying it for Alexia. For Steffi. Aliyah saying rant on. Yeah, sometimes, ranting a little bit on the podcast. But hey, it's the podcast, guys. It's a matter of keeping good habits. That's what's up. Olivier, last week I bought my first competition and it's much better than the hard style that I was using. Yeah, especially for the ballistics. And once you got the technique down pat, you can increase weight and the size stays the same. There was a study saying that people had put a lot of weight during lockdown. Yes, Alexia, that happened. And oh man, could you share the study? But that's what's up. I think that's what happens because it's understandable because we're telling people to stay home, so people stay home, and stress is coming in, and a lot of people eat more when they're stressed or under stress. Wasn't everybody training hard at home now? That's a good question, Alexia. Sometimes, perspectives are very important, especially when you're working as a coach. What is important is just because we have one perspective, or we see it through the lens of these two eyes, doesn't mean that everybody sees it the same. So always staying open to different perspectives and different ideas is something that is very crucial for being a coach. It's good that you're taking advantage of the COVID situation and taking some risks for Gary. It's paying off for sure. Thank you, Dean. Yes, we believe in this. And Alexia, Rolf saying the home office is close to the fridge. That's what's up. And people baking more than ever, Alexia. That's what's up. Olivier, I bought cast iron kettlebells first, but I don't use them anymore. The handling of the competition bells is much better, makes much more fun. That's what's up. Long toe, the only thing hardstyle kettlebells are better for is two-handed hand-style swings, and I think they're still better for Turkish get-ups. Long toe, I have to admit, yeah, you're right. I think the hardstyle, or just the cast ones, the smaller kettlebells, are better for two-handed swings. Yet, the question remains, and even Pavel says it, that one-handed swings have a higher activation of the glutes than two-handed swings. Interesting, doing it in a hardstyle way. So that also leaves room to understand, or maybe see the fact that a competition is probably the best investment yet, even for hardstyle. And for the Turkish get-up, I've done Turkish get-ups with the smaller ones. I think if you do it with the bigger one, with the competition, it can be tough on your forearm, yet if you got your hand insertion down pat, you're safe. So, yeah, my cast irons have been collecting dust since last March. Dean, sell them online. That's what we did. The kettlebells are on a shortage worldwide. So if you sell any kettlebell, you will sell it. Use eBay or just an online auction house. Steffi, I love my kettlebell rainbow in the corridor. That's cool. Alexia, that's the best rainbow ever. It's the rainbow of steel. Good stuff. Dean, Steve also seems to be focusing a lot with using the bells from a martial arts perspective, which is quite interesting. And Pavel does this as well in the Simple Sinister book. But they have two different ideas, two different perspectives. It's much better. My hands haven't teared since I used the competition kettlebell. Good stuff. I was impressed with the size though. They're huge. Yes. It just takes time to get accustomed to the bigger ones. But once you get accustomed, you're safe. Steffi, that's true. When I train in the park, people often look very astonished. They don't know that this huge thing only weighs 12 kilo. Yeah, but only 12 kilo. Yet and still, if you do stuff overhead, it's 12 kilo is felt. Will be felt. Dean, your video with Dennis has also inspired me to do more sessions with slightly lighter bells and more reps. Good stuff, Dean. I'm doing the same. Call of Duty Warzone, long toe, Dr. Disrespect reference. His chat always asks him. Yes, you know, Dr. Disrespect, guys, just taking a small jump into live streaming. What Dr. Disrespect is doing, he got quality, he got a production value that is so out of this world. And he even when you look back when he started, that's why he's such a pioneer. Even when he started, he had that idea in his mind. He had the vision. Because he sounds the same when he started, when he puts the hair on and the glasses on, like he has now. And the production value, I got so inspired from what he does. Even the synthwave music is inspired from him. So the dude is a tank. Steffi, Gregory, mir geht es eher um die Interviews und Podcasts. Bei den Videos kann man doch Untertitel einstellen. Wäre das keine Option? Ja, Steffi, du kannst die Option einstellen, aber das ist halt automatisch übersetzt, gell? Weil es wäre eine Option, aber die ganze Arbeit dahinter auf Deutsch zu übersetzen ist massiv, wenn wir sie manuell machen würden. Also probier's mal auf, ob Google Translate auf Deutsch das Ganze übersetzt. Scott, ich kenne das von einem Capoeira-Channel, das ist Spanisch, aber mit verschiedenen Untertiteln. Nee, probier's mal aus, Steffi. Und die automatische Übersetzung ist aber nicht so genau, aber ich konnte auch schon bei russischen Videos auf Englisch übersetzen, automatisch, und konnte sehr viel davon mitnehmen. Scott, I totally hear you when I travel and take a 25-pound kettlebell with me, and I just do crap load of reps at higher speeds, and I get just the same workout as I would with a heavier kettlebell in a hotel. That's good stuff, Scott. and the injury risk goes down. If you use lighter weight, guys, the injury risk goes down. And even science, when you look at what Brad Schoenfeld is saying, Brad Schoenfeld is clearly indicating that lighter weights build muscle as well. Strength is another condition. Strength is another idea. So that's what we always say. If you want to get stronger, really strong, you got to use the powerlifting moves, got to use a lot of weight. You don't get to a heavy deadlift with kettlebell training only. You don't. It's just supplementary, supplementing. Dean, my living floor has certainly put on weight with all these competition kettlebells. Hope the floor doesn't collapse on my neighbor underneath me. Yeah, you gotta make sure. Oh, this is actually something that I never thought about, guys. If you live 1 story, 2 story, 3 stories high, make sure your collection is. Maybe talk to the person who owns the building and ask how much weight is allowed. This is actually, it's kind of funny, but it's just something that you have to really look at. Wow. And Dean, Alexia saying, Jose's bought another one and I'm afraid of exactly the same. Yeah, hey guys, talk to the owner of the house. Make sure the stuff doesn't break, man. I don't know up there, but we live on a first floor mezzanine and the floor shakes every time we do a training session. But we have a deal with the neighbors downstairs. That's good. Always let your neighbors know when you go nuts. Carsten, es gibt solche Apps, einige, die phonetisch zeitgleich übersetzen, schriftlich lesbar. Carsten, kannst du diese App posten? Einen Link posten? Würde mich richtig mal interessieren. So yes, guys, that's the chat. Thank you so much. The chat's awesome. You guys are having a great time. I'm having a great time as well. And just one more question, guys. What I think, because Alexia talked about it, or she mentioned it, maybe you, Kettlebell Club, this is directly aimed at you guys. We've stopped reacting to the comments in the live workouts. Now, before you give your opinion, which I really want to hear, and then we're going to dig deeper into the podcast and to all the stuff that I got for you guys. We've stopped reacting because if you watch it on demand, we have a lot of people who watch the workouts on demand, and it says the workout duration is 40 minutes, yet the stream is 55 minutes. Then some people will say, well, no, that's a crazy video, a lot of talking, a lot of stuff that I don't need, so they don't watch it, or they don't watch the stream. So the idea, I know we're shifting a little bit, that's another change, but the idea of the workouts, we go all in, stay focused with the training. And if we get a donation, of course, we want to mention the donation. Yet, sometimes you guys are having fun with each other in the chat, which is good stuff. And I also talked to Alexia. Maybe we find a solution where she can be a moderator. But we want to keep it nice and clean. We want to keep it aerodynamic. Just flow through the workout as efficiently as possible, so that people who watch it on demand get a kick out of it. And you always can have a conversation with us in the comments, in the podcast, on our Instagram, on our socials. We always love to interact. But sometimes the Kettlebell Club is so nuts in the chat that now we even have to think about how we can handle the situation. Isn't that great? When we started, there was 1, 2, 3, or maybe four messages, and now it's completely nuts. That's the Kettlebell Club, guys. So let us know if that is a downgrade to you, or if you say, nah, man, I'm just tuning in for the live workout, tuning in, having conversation with the Kettlebell Club in the chat. That's sufficient. And sometimes we react, and I know we have to do a better job in filtering those finishers. And Kettlebell Club, please, when the chat starts, this is when we still have some time to check out the chat. Please, when the chat starts, post your suggestions of the finisher right when the stream starts, so Angie and me can check it out. And then once the finisher starts, we can even maybe have a vote where we have burpees and we have push-ups. What do you guys think? And then you got to be quick with your fingers. So let's keep going. But before we dive into the next section, it's already over 1 hour of streaming. But man, I'm just I'm so addicted to talking. So let's keep going. But first, another word of our sponsor.
Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebe Stark. In the back, you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training.
Oh, good idea, Rolf. We can also vote on the Facebook page. Yeah, we want to make it a little interactive in the chat. So if somebody has an idea, we could actually do a post, in a dedicated post where people can I can pin it as in the chat, or maybe sometimes it goes under, but that's an idea. We can pin it and then you can guys comment on it. But please, if you have ideas, I think in the beginning of the stream we can check it out and we can see what's up. Now you see, that's good when we have these awesome members. You see what Rolf is saying. He's saying the building code is 300 kilograms per square meter. Wow, Rolf, are you an engineer? Good stuff. You see, that's what happens when you have these awesome people in the Kettlebell Club rocking. Steffi saying, I love the chat during the workouts. I would miss that. Well, the chat is still there, Steffi. Der Chat bleibt, aber wir reagieren nicht mehr so auf die Kommentare. Und die Frage ist, ob das vielleicht ein Downgrade ist oder ob das reicht, wenn ihr im Chat hier miteinander feiern könnt. That's the idea. So, I missed the Olivier, I missed the interaction, but I get where you're coming from. Yes, thank you for the understanding. And that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Now, let's keep going. So, where we at? Now, rules of progression. Now, this is something that I think is very important, and also one reason why I decided, that there's a little hint in there why I decided for Steve Cotter's philosophy, or for the sports style method and not for the hard style method. And please, we always, it's not a debate, but there are two different styles, and we get this question a lot. What are pros, what are cons? And if you pick up a kettlebell and have fun with it, that's what's up, man. That's good. But I see where or I have to put it this way, I see where Pavel is coming from in some areas that I don't agree on, or that I wouldn't do with our clients or with the people that we are coaching. And Steve is more in line with what we're doing. So we see philosophy, just the differences of philosophy. Now, the rules of progression, I think, it's 4 of them. First of all, always respect the weights. No matter what weight you're choosing. Even if you choose an 8 kilogram and you're used to 24, go pretty fast with the 8 and you'll start sweating. And never miss the focus when you work with weights, because even the ballistic element, guys, is so unpredictable, especially with weights. You have to be careful. Handle everything with care, so that means handle your body with care, handle the warm-up with care, handle some mobility with care, handle some stretching where stretching is needed. If you're tight in some areas, handle everything with care, and handle your kettlebell with care. And what we see experience from our clients is something that most of the time happens when people are highly focused when they work out. And when there's a break or a pause, they put down the kettlebell from the overhead top fixation. They put it down like a bag of rice. And maybe there's a chance that it may land on your feet. It may land on your knees. You may rip something, or some muscle will get a tear or get an overstretch, or your joint. So what I want to say is, when you stop and put it down, always put it down as safe as possible. Number 3, become a master of technique, especially the sports style. The sports style is so nuanced, as we have already seen. I think becoming a master of the technique is way more important than mastering a 48 kilogram kettlebell swing, or just doing 10 swings with the 48 or whatever. This is where I'm coming from. And this is the hint, guys. Number 4, don't be badass, just be better. Now, what does that mean? When I see some hard style coaches, or when I read through Pavel's book, and like I said, you have to check out the channel for the detailed review. But he mentioned the word sissy like 5 times. He mentioned the word badass like 5 times. He was into this mode like, if you don't know what strong is, then you're probably not strong. Then you're probably not. Don't let me catch you being a sissy with your gloves on. Stuff like this, And or being badass, picking up a kettlebell, doing heavy stuff and being hard with it, being bad. You know what's badass? In my opinion, in my humble opinion, you know what's badass? The work that firefighters do, the work that folks who work in a hospital do, the work that people do in an ER unit, the work what soldiers do, the work that what parents, what mothers especially do, even fathers as well, of course, but mothers especially, that's badass. Lifting a kettlebell, swinging it, I don't care how heavy it is, I don't think it's badass. So this is not where I'm coming from. This is not the philosophy. I don't want to be badass. I don't want to be the toughest, the roughest, bombaklad badman. I don't want to be that guy. Because I'm not. I know where I'm at. And you know who can be like the bombaklad guy? Who can talk like I'm the roughest, toughest bombaklad man from Malta, Jamaica? That's from Beanie Man, from one of his songs, his intro. I'm the roughest, toughest bombaklad man from Malta, Jamaica. You know who could be badass, call himself a badass? Denis Vasilev, 11-time world champion, destroying the 32 kettlebells with 90 reps in the long cycle in 10 minutes. He's a complete badass. We could even call him a badass. But he doesn't call himself that. He knows he's a professional athlete, but I love his mindset, the philosophy, being humble. And you know what he says? If I would go all in with the 32 at once, not being scared of the weight or having enough respect of the weight, I'm not professional. I don't handle myself professionally. And since I am a coach, I want to handle myself or handle my coaching or my business as professional as possible. So that means following his footsteps. And if you watch the interview, he's humble. He's such a humble dude. So that's where I'm coming from. These are our rules of progression. Now we get into some feedback that we got from the channel, and also some feedback that we got, some stuff. I picked up a lot of stuff from the Denis Vasilev interview, but this is something that that really rings a bell. What is guys the number one reason to succeed? What do you think is the number one reason to succeed without checking the hint? Right, what is it? Left, right? No, I think it's left. Is it left? Let me know, chat. Is it left? If I'm pointing left? What do you think? Post it in the chat, guys. Post it in the chat. There's 18 people in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. Come on, guys. What do you think? Right now. Oh, it's right. It's right. What's the best? What is your number one reason to succeed? I'm waiting, guys. I'm waiting on the chat. Treat every kettlebell as if it was loaded. Good stuff. Loaded like a gun. Come on, guys. Come on, chat. Let me know. I'm waiting for you. Number one reason to succeed. What do you think? Oh, we got. As your channel grows, I'm still going through this. As your channel grows, you will not be able to react to everything and will need to selectively react. You guys do what works best for y'all. Thank you. Thank you, Long Toe. You're so right. Da habe ich wieder nicht alles verstanden. Concrete floor. Alexia. You're left. Thank you. Oh man, you guys have 20 seconds delay. That's why I'm waiting and nothing happens. I love it. I love it. Diet is super hard for me. Being a truck driver and working 60 hours a week, intermediate fasting has worked for me the best. That's good stuff, Scott. Just short. When it comes to diet, try what works for you. Try what works for you. If you say intermittent fasting is good for you or intermediate fasting is good for you, keep going down that road until maybe you find out, well, it doesn't work as good as it worked before. Maybe I have to change something. Maybe, cooking meals before, if that's an idea. Maybe thinking about what can I when you're a truck driver and you do a stop, you probably do regular pit stops. Thinking about it, well, when you park the truck, thinking about it, okay, what am I going to order? What will be the best decision? Some good protein, some good veggies, because in most restaurants or most it's closed right now in most areas, but most of the time you can make a pretty good decision even if you eat outdoors or even if you eat in a restaurant. So I love this. Longto says, so I can have functional movement into old age. That's the number one reason to succeed. Yeah, that's a very good reason. And chat, if you have another idea, let me know. But let's keep going. The number one reason to succeed is, I think, Longto, you're saying the number one goal, right? That's your number one goal, Longto. But the number one reason, I would say, is consistency. If you are consistent in what you are doing, you will be winning. I don't care if you have the best diet, the best coach, the best workout regimen, the best fill in the blank. If you're not consistently following the routine, it's not working. And then you can ask yourself, is this consistency problem something that I can improve? Maybe I lack a little bit of discipline and I have to just work harder on my discipline a little bit. That's one part of the equation, not the whole part of the equation. It's not all about discipline. Maybe the reason why you can't be consistent is because you're following a regime that doesn't suit your body, doesn't suit your goals, or doesn't work out in your social life or economic life. Right? But when I talked to Dennis, he said it. The reason why most of our students, or why some students mess it up, is because they're not consistent. If you're prepping for a competition, you have to follow the regimen consistently. You can't squeeze in those workouts that you missed at the end of the prep. This window of opportunity is closed now. And so I want to put this mindset, because we see it with our coaching clients as well. I want to put this mindset into training or losing weight or improving your technique with the kettlebell. I want to incorporate this mindset. If you're missing out a lot, and especially he said that when you do sports style, when you do jerks, long cycle, snatch, you will feel it if you take a break, not a wanted break. I think a solicited break, a break that is needed, a pause from training after, let's say, like 8 to 12 weeks of continuous training is sometimes warranted and needed and useful. Yet, if you just have, I don't have time, or something is, something, I have a cough or I have a headache or whatever reason that stands in your way that can be overridden, or that just takes maybe some discipline to override that problem and work out anyway, is something that is so important. Understanding that consistency is key in anything that you do. We see this with our clients in the success rate as well. Those who are consistently following the workout schedule, consistently following good habits, building those good eating habits, because habits are built through consistency, not through luck, not through accidents, through consistency. Read the book Atomic Habits. It's a very good book on habits. So it's staying consistent. And it's not even about the duration, it's about the frequency. Yet in my experience, I would say the longer you stay consistent and the more frequently you do the thing that you do, the stronger your habit will become. Now, we get this question also a lot. Adjustable kettlebells, are they a good fit? I think in the chat you have a discussion about Johannes Quella when he screwed some kettlebells. I think, was das, Steffi? Was die adjustable kettlebell? Anyways, adjustable kettlebells is one thing. I would say it's just like a machine, a strength training machine that does three things. You can do all three things with this one machine at a mediocre level. All right? It does everything on average but it doesn't do anything very good. So the adjustable kettlebell is probably, in my opinion, we got some feedback that it's good, and we got some other feedback that it's tricky. Adjustable kettlebells may work if you're short on space, if you don't have a lot of money, yet you want to start with the workout and you cannot afford 3 or 4 competition kettlebells, or 2 in that regard. And then, yes, there may be a good fit. Or maybe just wait a little longer, save some more money, and get the competition. Because the adjustable kettlebell, if you can do something that a competition cannot do, you have to acknowledge the fact that maybe it does something worse than the original one, or than the one that is only, than a 12 kilo kettlebell is designed to be a 12 kilo kettlebell. That's it. If you have a kettlebell that's 12, 16, 20, 24, there will be some problems probably with it. Something that downgrades it because it doesn't do everything well. That's just my opinion. Now, lower back stress, we got this question, or it was rather a correction that somebody commented on one of our videos. Yet it was, sometimes we get these, and that's what I talked to Dennis about. I said sometimes people don't understand the sports style method, hence they post comments on our channel or on our feed or wherever, where they completely misunderstand how the biomechanics of the sports style even works. And then he said something that's so good, man. He said so many good things. But he said, what people are exposed to first, that's where the level of understanding is. So maybe they're not exposed to this heart. They're exposed to the heart style first, or whatever style, just not the sports style. And then they see the sports style and it looks strange to their eye. And instead of just asking, hey, is there something different, they come to the conclusion that it's wrong, right? So the question, do you stress the lower back if your back isn't straight in the back swing per se? And this gentleman was referring to my double-handed swing, because I was showing off the double-handed swing in comparison to the one-handed swing, where I believe the one-handed swing is superior. So, do you stress the lower back if your back isn't like this? Chest up, shoulders back, like in a deadlift? No, you don't. Why not? Because if you use your hips to catch the brunt of the weight and you relax your upper body, don't bend it. You don't have to bend it. If you bend your upper body, you actively engage the muscles that move your spine. Don't do this. Don't engage. This is triggering. We see this with our clients. This takes time to learn. Not triggering the muscles that bend your spine additionally. What happens is the hips push back and the upper body reacts naturally. And maybe your upper back is then not straight like this. Maybe it's just bent a little bit. Yet, if your upper back is bent a little bit, that's totally fine, because we have this natural kyphosis. That's one part of the S of the spine in our upper back. So that's totally fine. And so you don't stress, out of that reason, you don't stress the lower back, because you're going back into the backswing. Your hips are going back naturally. And when you lock your knees, you even have some more sway in the backswing. Therefore, get a nicer pendulum. And if you really push your hips forward and catch the brunt of the weight with your hips, your lower back is totally fine. Now, training with gloves. Is it a problem to train with gloves? Do I need them to keep my palm from destroying itself when cleaning or snatching? Now, if you feel better with training with gloves, then try it. Okay? I can guarantee you that it's different. It's not the same vibe than just with your hands only. It will be different. Yet, if you really keep destroying your palm, and maybe the glove is a solution that helps you or avoids destroying your skin on your palm, then do it. Yet, what I would like to add is use it as a temporary solution. Because if your technique gets better in the clean or the snatch, then you will save a lot of skin on your palm. Yet, some skin will be lost in the kettlebell in your journey of kettlebell training, which is totally normal. Your skin will adjust. You build some calluses, and maybe if you use heavier weight, there is a possibility that when you start snatching with the heavier weight or cleaning with the heavier weight, that those blisters, those calluses will blister, and then you have to adjust again. The heavier weight has some tendency. Back when I used to snatch just with the 24, I destroyed my skin on my palm. Now I can snatch with the 32, and I feel it, really feel it, but it's not destroying my palm. So it's all about technique. All right. Now, the pain in the forearm, is it necessary? Is it a necessary evil to endure this pain? Or does it get better when cleaning the kettlebell? It will get better. However, it depends on your technique. When you do the clean, we have a video about it. You have to understand the low swing, first portion of the clean, the acceleration pull, the second portion of the clean, and the hand insertion, which is the third part of the clean, and maybe the rack rest position. This is what you have to understand, how to rack the kettlebell safely without always slamming the kettlebell on your forearm. And this is a question of technique and maybe a question of the size of your kettlebell. Hence, we always recommend the competition kettlebell because this is just perfect for you to understand the clean and not destroying your forearm. Now we have some more questions going, but I want to take a short break. I'll be right back. Skimming through the live chat, take a small break for about a minute, and then we'll get into the rest of what we have prepared for you guys because we still have some ground to cover. Whew. So we are back, guys. Man, this Be Right Back stuff is really good. Because if you keep streaming for, I think it's 1.5 hours now. And sometimes you got to stand up, get a break. I had to go to the bathroom. And wow, that's good stuff. I'm getting this streaming vibe. So good. So thank you so much for joining. We still got 19 people in the chat. You guys are awesome. I was just checking the live stream, the live chat for a second. And Carsten, vielen lieben Dank für das Teilen der App. Richtig cool. Scott is saying, I enjoy the after workout chat interaction. That's good stuff, Scott. Thank you very much. We also, Alexa says this too. Yet, this is maybe something that you have to live with, guys, because when the chat gets so extreme, which we really love, I think the most that we got was about 80 to 85 messages per workout, which is so great. And we really want to highly recommend you guys keep chatting and have fun with each other. But on the rewatching value, with people rewatch the workout, it's something that we see in the analytics. It just drops off like this. So people stop watching the interaction because it's not live anymore. So that's the reason why we're tuning. And podcast, guys. You see, I'm reacting to your stuff. Now, und Steffi sagt, das war die Kettlebell von the adjustable kettlebell from Kettlebell Kings. All right. Now, Longto is saying, first time I watched your videos, I thought your swing method looked insane. Hardstyle is more prevalent in the USA, so you will get a lot of comments like this. Yes, it is. And that's the reason why I talked to Dennis about it, and he said, this is my theory. Well, it's not a theory. It's actually, you see it in practice. Pavel is such a good businessman, and he pushed his style to the utmost limits. That's why it's so prevalent. Man, he brought kettlebells to the map, which we all have to be thankful for. Yet, and this is sometimes, where I sometimes get a little hooked on, because, man, you don't understand the original style, or just because something looks strange to your eye doesn't mean that it's wrong, right? And so, yes, you looked at it, Longtoe, and you thought, well, it looks insane, but you kept watching. I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you kept observing, you kept watching, you kept studying, and then you understood, oh, I see where this dude is coming from. And that's what a lot of people don't do. But, we understand that this is part of the game. This is totally fine. And if your lower back hurts, it's because there's something wrong with your technique, Olivier. It doesn't always have to be technique, Olivier. Yeah, you're right. You're right, definitely, most definitely. If something wrong with the technique, this can be one of the factors. Yet, it could also be that your lower back is just not strong enough to handle the weight yet, or handle the time. That's the reason why Olympic weightlifters do thousands and thousands of back extensions, because they have to have a very strong lower back, right, to handle those weights. And because that's one of the weak spots. Our core, or just lower back, is one of the weaker spots. So maybe it's technique, or it's because your lower back is not yet that strong. Rolf also commented on this when I was new to the style. Can't even remember your comment, Rolf. What did you comment? Did you say, hey, how stupid does that look? I'm just joking. Let me know, Rolf. What did you say? Steffi, I use lifting tape for the middle fingers and a kettlebell wristlet. That is good. Oh, gloves, I don't know. What does that kettlebell wristlet look like, Steffi? Can you post it in the chat? Would be interesting to see. Olivier, does anyone know Taco Fleur from the Caveman Training channel? I don't know him personally. I saw some of his stuff, because you see, the kettlebell world is pretty small on YouTube. You have the leader of the pack right now, and I say that subscriber-wise, is Mark Wildman. He got over 100,000 subscribers. Then you have Swing This Kettlebell in Strength. You have Strong First, but I don't think they do a lot of stuff on the kettlebell channel. I think they're at 70K. Swing This Kettlebell in Strength, I think he's about 30K. Caveman is about 50 to 60K. And then we are in the back. Well, we're catching up. We're catching up, guys. We're catching up. And so I had one interaction with him. I was reading when Swing This Kettlebell in Strength, when Joe from Swing This Kettlebell in Strength was saying something. He had one video where he was talking about should a coach give feedback to form. And then they were talking about us, Lebe Stark as well, in the comment section, which I thought was cool. And then they were mentioning Taco, or they were mentioning Caveman Training. And then Swing This Kettlebell in Strength, Joe said, well, his interaction with him was a little bad, I think. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. but I think he wasn't as nice. I can't remember what he actually said, but I think the interaction wasn't as good. And my interaction that I got wasn't very positive either. He did something that you usually don't do. He went on one of our most watched videos is the reaction to Joe Rogan. This about 50K views now, where I'm reacting to Joe Rogan's clean, double clean, alternating cleans with where he has gruesome technique that really can completely destroy your shoulder. And I even heard some stories that he actually hurt himself bad during that exercise. So I reacted to it, and it's got a lot of views, just for our means. And then he posted a quote. He said, "Don't do alternating cleans because we're actually advocating for you, or we advocating to not do alternating cleans with heavy kettlebells. It is a cool exercise, of course. It's gorilla cleans, the badass style. It's gorilla cleans, right? But I don't think it's a very useful exercise. It's one that involves an injury risk to your shoulder if you don't do it right. And I always look at it from a beginner's perspective. So rather do double cleans, because even doing double cleans takes eternities to master the real technique, especially in sports style. So he said, quote, "Don't do alternating double cleans," end quote, "like I do in this video for over years and never hurt myself." And then he posted his gorilla clean or alternating clean video. And, I reacted to him. I said, well, not everybody's built like you, Taco. You're a beast. You're a pro. You can do it. And I'm not salty or anything, but this is something that you don't do in a situation. You don't plug your video if it's not in a matter of context that is somehow, in a discussion. Or maybe that's just my perspective. I would never plug my video onto somebody else's kettlebell channel just to get some views, or just you say it, don't do it. Well, I do it. I guarantee you, Joe, Taco, me, Mark, Steve, Dennis, I can name, the list goes on. Ivan, both Ivans, Denisov and Markov, we probably disagree on some things, which is totally fine. And this is what some people maybe don't understand. You can have experts talk about a given niche or a given topic and have sometimes completely different opinions. But that's the shared pool of meaning. First of all, we have common ground. We love the kettlebell. We have a shared pool of meaning. Somebody says this, another person says this. And then those different opinions can actually coexist next to each other. And maybe if I'm always that type of guy, if evidence rises to the top, so evidence rises where I'm saying, well, this doesn't work. Now, evidence rises that it does work, I have to adjust my opinion, because I always want to follow evidence-based training, or just, not only evidence, scientific evidence, but other evidence as well. Or maybe I misunderstood something, and then I have to adjust as well. All right? So different opinions can coexist. So don't try, not never. I hate absolutes, actually. I rarely use them. Try to not make the mistake to make any expert your guru. All right? I said this multiple times in some of the podcasts that I had recently. I even started them like this. Don't make me your guru. I'm not your Tony Robbins. I'm not your Steve Carter. I'm not, I'm not a legend in that area. I'm not a Pavel. I'm not, even legends can be wrong sometimes. Or even legends can get something wrong, misunderstand something, or, even especially the older generation. You know what the older generation has to it? They have been teaching something that's for 10, 15 years, and maybe something new arises that says, oh, maybe we can talk about that ideology, and they're like, no, that always worked. All right, so you can't teach a old dog new tricks, right? So never make Lebe Stark, never make Gregory, never make Angie your guru, because we are human beings. We're fallible. Sometimes I may change my opinion on certain topics, which I sometimes do, because that's part of being a human being. That's part of growing older and maybe a little bit wiser, is, seeing the facts and then maybe adjusting your opinion. So never try to not make any one of us your guru. Now, let's keep going. in the chat. The chat's still lit, man. You guys are lit. You guys are lit. I love you. I love you guys. Keeping the chat on fire. Now, where we at? I saw something. I learned all the technique from his Udemy classes. Oliver, that's good. And how was the Udemy class? That's good. And what's very interesting to know, Olivier, is how does it differ from our teaching style through the YouTube videos and training style? I would be very interested to hear your take. I saw him on YouTube, but I don't know him, Rolf. I use one of the women's files maybe 3 times per week to smooth out the calluses. Great idea. I use weightlifting gloves and they're okay for me. That's good, Alexia. But they don't prevent calluses, Alexia. Mirafit kettlebells have quite a rough handle. Yeah, are these the standard ones? Maybe try a competition. I see when you tag us, Alexia, maybe try a competition kettlebell ones. To me, gloves made everything worse. I got lots of blisters when I tried them. Okay, interesting. Rolf uses sandpaper. I found an amazing sandpaper block. That's good stuff. Gustavo is saying, I use gloves, but still got some blisters from my left hand, which with cleans and snatches. Right hand is okay. It's a matter of technique. That's what's up. Thanks for the input, Gustavo. Dean, yep, something you just have to keep doing, but worth it to protect the hands and keep training. Yes, like I said, sometimes maybe it's a temporary solution. Don't make it permanent, but sometimes temporary solutions may work. Yes. Steffi, Link zum Anklicken geht hier nicht. Ich habe die Proton Kettlebell Handgelenk und Armschutz von Amazon und Lift RX Tape für die Finger. Danke, ich mache kurz einen Screenshot. Interessant, danke. Es sind Kunststoffplatten eingearbeitet, das ist genial. Interesting. Dean, I saw an amateur kettlebell sport tournament on YouTube. Some were definitely bending their backs far too much. One guy's head was practically touching the back wall when he was in the rack position. And I got this great cue from Pavel. When you're in the rack rest position, you know what you do? Keep your eyes not fixed to the ceiling. Keep your eyes fixed on the horizon. And that maybe helps from just leaning back too far. Rolf, Steffi says, I will post that wristlets at Facebook. Good stuff. Gute Idee, Steffi. Vielen Dank. Rolf, from my climbing days, I fell down hard skin with foot files. My favorite is Scholl electric foot file. Foot file. Good stuff, Rolf. Maybe you can share the link to that file in the Facebook group as well. Scott, I consider the calluses on my hand right of passage of kettlebells. Yeah, and like we already mentioned, it's all about technique. Alexia, Rolf, the Scholl foot file is awesome. You guys already know it. The Kettlebell Club is the Kettlebell Club, man. Almost 2 hours now, but let's focus on these last few questions that we're having now. Overtraining, does it exist, and how much is too much? Well, actually, overtraining does exist, and how much is too much depends on your body, on your fitness level, on your technique. Yet, I take this cue now from Dennis, and I incorporate it in my training as well. Not only just scaling down with the weights, being more careful and working more on the technique so that my muscle memory can be improved and that my cerebellum can store the information more easily. I also want to make sure that I'm listening to my body. This is something that we always say. And we take a break every 8 to 12 weeks. Why? I always followed this procedure. The reason why I maybe missed that procedure is because I said, well, December and January, the YouTube channel is exploding, so we got to keep grinding. Yet I feel that sometimes my body is signaling me, hey, maybe it's time to take a break. And Angie said that as well. And sometimes we feel it after 10 weeks or 12 weeks of training. And Dennis said, it's just like when you're preparing, or he just said, when I'm preparing for a competition, you reach your peak level of performance. It's a short second of glory. You bask in that glory for a few seconds and then it's gone, because it's impossible to maintain high levels of physical performance for a long time. So what he does is, after the prep phase, after the competition, he dials down the training, and then it's a clean sheet of paper and he starts to prep once again. So since I've always advocated to take a break after 8 to 12 weeks, I would also say maybe it's good for you to take a break from training every 10 to 12 weeks completely, not doing anything. You don't have to be a snail and lay on the couch all day. You can just take a few brisk walks and use the additional time, the freed time now that you used to work out now in this 1 week, use it to do some other stuff, some other hobbies, try some new things, try some new stuff, watch some stuff, go into chilling mode or whatever. And then at the beginning of the week, maybe you're grateful. You're like, oh, wow, and I can relax a little bit, take the weight off. And at the end of the week, you're hyped to get back to training. And this philosophy, I've used this philosophy now for over 10 years. No, not over 10 years, over 5 years probably. I've been lifting for now 10 plus years now. But in the last 4 to 5 years, I've used these, or 5 to 6 years, I've used this method of always taking a break. And this is also something that keeps you from injuring yourself. Because if you're working at high levels of performance or keep working continuously, maybe your body's signaling you to take a break. You don't listen, and boom, here comes the injury. Now, planes of motion, there was a question that, do kettlebells cover all planes of motions? Because we want to keep it simple. You have a vertical plane of motion, all right, up and down, all right, or press, for example. You have a horizontal, back and forth, the swing, for example, and you have a transverse or rotational. So the question is, do kettlebells cover all planes of motion? And the one exercise that came to my mind, if you want to stay in the rotational transverse pattern, is the windmill, where you start rotating your body a little bit, going down and back up. Yet at the same time, I would say rotating your body under a load without proper form can be very detrimental to your spine or to your lower back. This is where most people get hurt. So I would be very careful when you do rotational stuff with especially heavyweight. Never use heavyweight when you go into rotational stuff. Yet if you're not into the windmill, if you just use one kettlebell only, going to the backswing, clean and up and down and all that stuff, you go into some kind of transfer. Your body starts rotating a little bit because it's one bell that your body has to adjust and accommodate to it. So I would say just doing a clean and jerk. A clean and jerk works all planes of motion with one kettlebell: the vertical, the horizontal, and the transverse. Now the rack rest position. What are the pros and cons? Somebody asked this. He said, well, I saw you and I saw Dennis leaning back. The Kettlebell Club knows about this. What are the pros and cons of racking the kettlebell in the kettlebell sports style? Now I would say, as you can see in the image, it's probably a little small. Let's switch it like this so you can see it a little bigger. Now, and in that image that you're seeing, I'm racking the kettlebell. The elbow makes contact with the iliac crest of my hips. I make sure that my knees are locked, and the weight now pulls down in front of my hip, in front of my knees, down to the middle of my foot, where the human center of mass is. Now, what does that do? The pros of this concept is you can rest the kettlebell, work for a very long time, and you can rest your forearm, your biceps, your shoulder, all those weaker muscles that tend to burn out when you work with the kettlebell. So that's one of the pros. The second pro, so just racking and resting for longer time. The second pro is when you go into the dip and the bump, you already connect your elbow to the iliac crest. So the energy that is transferred from your hip, from your legs, goes into your elbow, is transferred to your arm, and helps you catapult the kettlebell in the overhead top fixation. That's good stuff if you already have this connection there. So your arm's connected to your body, which makes it great to dip and bump and use the power of your legs, all right, to work the all overhead movements. Now, are there any cons? I was pondering about it, and the only con that I come up with is it is hard to learn. First of all, okay, it's way harder to learn. It uses you need to have some triggering. You have to understand that you have to have your body, that your upper body stays relaxed, yet your lower body is tense. And when you're in the overhead top fixation, your upper body's tense, your lower body's relaxed. And that's one thing, triggering. understanding the neuromuscular aspect, what we always say, the neuromuscular gymnastics that you're doing with the kettlebell sports style. And the second con that I would probably say is next, that it's harder to learn, it needs some good mobility. All right. So that's not something that has to do with learning. It has to do with how your anthropometrics are. Some people are very mobile in the upper body. Some are very tight. They already have, you already have this kind of posture, and now you go into the rack rest position, and enforcing this posture even more could be a con. And some people are very tight in their hips. They are not even able to tilt the hips forward without bending the knees and without leaning back and looking at the ceiling. So, these are the cons. Yet, it takes time to master this position, but it's the best way. I think it's the most awesome way to train with kettlebells, especially if you increase with the weights a little bit. Now, guys, I think we're done. We're through. 25 people in the chat. Say what? Oh, what's up? The chat's lit now. Chat's lit. Now I got some questions. Taking your questions, guys. If you have any questions, shoot them out. I will dedicate the last 5 minutes of our podcast to questions only. And guys, just once again, thank you very much for joining. So great that you're joining with us. So great that you're hanging out with us. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe to the channel anytime. Now, let's see where we at. I think we are here. Yeah. Torres comments, any tips on how to develop a weekly kettlebell routine Monday to Friday? I just found your channel and love your workout sets. Thank you, Torres. Alexia, giving you the answer. Torres, my advice is getting used to the kettlebell and see how well your body responds to that, and add good nutrition and rest. Once your technique and fitness increases, you can increase the workout time. Always listen to your body and be sensible about the weight you use. Alexia, she's the junior coach. That's what's up, guys. That's when you have people who listen to what you preach and what you teach. Alexia, you rock. And Torres, what I would like to add is, if you want to develop a weekly kettlebell routine, follow our live workouts. We always stream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And you can, of course, do these workouts on demand. If you're just starting out, if you're new, try maybe one workout per week and try to stay consistent over, let's say, like a period of 4 weeks or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever suits you best. Then if you really get the hang of the kettlebell and you can, you can walk a day without touching the kettlebell, then upgrade to maybe 2 workouts, and then try to follow given another space, maybe some 2 to 3 weeks or maybe 4 weeks. Then you have 8 weeks down pat. And then after 8 weeks and you still like the kettlebell, you're still into it, and you've maybe worked on your technique a little bit, then you can upgrade to 3 kettlebell workouts. We actually do 4 right now on our channels, and most people do well with 3 kettlebell workouts per week. So I want to highly recommend you check out our workouts. We have over 150. The live workouts are counted, and the ones that are only on demand are not counted, but only the live ones are now 114. It's coming up tomorrow. So make sure you tune in, Torres, if you have the time. Omar, I'm currently running a program by Geoff Newport. Any other program you guys recommend to do after? Geoff Newport. I gotta check this out. Is it a kettlebell coach? Well, I'm gonna check this out. Check this out, guys. Who he is. Because now, guys, you should see my background. Let's check him out. What's that? Geoff. Never heard of him. Kettlebell Strong. Let's see what he says. Husband, father, travel the world, author. Where does he come from? Here you go. Work is Division 1, Rutgers University. Perform sessions, qualify for the national to win a state. Blah, blah, blah. Your thought leader as a master instructor with the Russian Kettlebell Challenge in the Strong First. Strong First. All right. Well, listen. If you're having results with Geoff Newport, if I'm saying his name correctly, don't follow anything else. Why am I giving you this advice? We have people who start working out with us or are going to our coaching, follow our coaching methods, follow our routines, or even, going to high intensity coaching where we have a lot of, let's switch it. Cool. Where we have a lot of coaching involved with nutrition and training, in-house, in personal training, and as well as online. What we always see is that people tend to get it mixed up. They mix up philosophies because they are now working with us, but they also work with a physiotherapist. They also work with alternative medicine. They also work with Chinese medicine. They also work with a kettlebell coach from over there. They also work out in a gym where a coach says something. They also follow X and X on YouTube. And what happens is your mind will get confused. And what we always say is, if you're fairly new, there is one word that is called discernment. This is a word that is often used in Christianity, in reading the Bible. So what does discernment mean? It means if you listen to folks and you have good discernment, this means you have a lot of background in the stuff that you're reading or watching or whatever, then you can make a fine discernment. For example, I'm watching a YouTube channel, I see him do stuff or her, and I see with my coaching eye how they do it. I see if they have experience, because the talking is one thing, experience demonstrated is another thing. And I see, well, you don't have a lot of experience, yet what you say is true. So I'm, discerning the stuff. If you're good at fitness, good at kettlebells, and you're trying a program, you can try different things and see what works. But we highly recommend stick to one coach or stick to one program. Don't mix it up. And if you're working closer with Mr. Newport, if you work closer with him, it's even better for him to coach you if you have direct contact with him. It's easier for him to share his methodology if you don't constantly mix it up with everything else. All right, you get what I'm saying? So this is maybe just one thing that I would advise. And if you're looking for other programs, we have programs as well, of course. And one person that I always recommend is Steve Cotter and the IKFF. Okay? Hope this answers your question. Dean, as well as rest. Changing the training stimulus on some days can also help prevent over-fatigue, injury, and the whole plateau things. It keeps your favorite stuff fresh so you'll improve. Yes, changing the training. Yes, and this is what you can, what kettlebell sport guys call GPP, the General Preparation Program. Maybe you'll take a break from kettlebell training and do some easy stuff with some body weight. Yet we always want to recommend 10 to 12 weeks, completely no training at all will be beneficial to you. Now, Torres says, Alexa, I have followed the workouts on the channel and I've managed well. I ask from a dumbbell sort of thinking where you try not to repeat exercises. Ooh, that's a very good place you're coming from. And each day work certain areas, understanding that the kettlebell is whole body. Torres, if I may answer you, the kettlebell is completely different. The way we train is completely different from the dumbbell. And I get where you're coming from because I was in that space as well. If you even though dumbbell training, which we really, guys, let us know in the chat. We're thinking about creating a new channel and replacing the Saturday workout with a dumbbell workout on our new channel. We're really playing with this idea. And let us know, Kettlebell Club, if you think that's a good idea. Creating a new channel for dumbbells only. Now, Torres, you don't need to switch up exercises when you train with kettlebells. And even if you do some good dumbbell stuff. For example, dumbbell clean and press, you can do this all week, all week long. The reasons why people want to switch exercises is not because of the stimulus for the body, but stimulus for the brain. And we believe if you work the style that we do with the kettlebell training that we do, the Russian style, the kettlebell sport method, it needs thousands and thousands and thousands of reps to become better with the technique. We believe in doing the same in the basics over and over and over and over again to become better and more sufficient and proficient with the technique instead of mixing it up every time. And that's what we see with a lot of workouts out there. They have I've referenced this in the last video. I saw a 10-minute body weight only high intensity video that got over 30 million views, and he does 15, I think it's like 10 to 15 exercises in only 10 minutes. You don't even come up. You think, okay, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. Yet, even training programming from a scientific point of view says you don't have to mix it up all the time. Compound movements work the best, and this is what the kettlebell does. Now, Olivier, about Taco's classes, I think that they are pretty good, but his way of teaching is too advanced for beginners. Ooh, interesting to hear, Olivier. And that's something that we focus on. We focus on beginners. Thank you for the input, Olivier. Longto, Omar, are you doing Newport's double kettlebell strength program? Finish it up and start trying to... See, I love it. I love when we have the same ideas. That's the Kettlebell Club. That's the Kettlebell Club, guys. Join the club. Hey, if you've been watching for over 2 years, over 2 hours now, you got to join the Kettlebell Club. Link is in the description. See, Longto, we're on the same page. Omar, yep, the 12-week program. I haven't come across the Kettlebell Sport program, though. Omar, just to finish this one up, Kettlebell Sport. We've mentioned this in the beginning. We use the kettlebell sport training philosophy, but not in a kettlebell sport sense where we want to prepare for a competition. If you use the kettlebell sport to prepare for a competition, talk to Dennis Vasilev, one of the best kettlebell sport coaches out there who can really help you. If you want to prepare for competition, if you want to do it for fitness, leanness, muscle building, getting strong like we all do, you don't have to be as fancy. You have to be fancy if you prepare for a competition. You don't have to be fancy if it's for fitness only. Yet we place a lot of emphasis on the basics. Like the question that I answered for Torres, it's the same thing for you now. We use a lot of the same reps, same exercises to become better at it. Now, Torres, perfect. Thank you. Welcome, brother. Steffi, sleep well. See you tomorrow. Yes. Wir sehen dich morgen, Steffi. And Torres, Alexia, of course, you can do different stuff and combine it with body weight only stuff. I do that all the time, but again, it depends on what you're looking for. And you see, this is where we sometimes differ. Alexia loves that stuff. She loves to combine it with body weight stuff and do some multiple exercises. And we say it's best to stick with the basics and don't too much. But at the end of the day, work with what suits best for you. Good stuff. Omar, vielen Dank. Dein Englisch ist übrigens sehr gut. Danke vielmals, Omar. Gustavo, I'm following a nutrition program to gain weight and doing 50 minutes of your routines 5 days a week. Great stuff. Currently using 16 kilo, 12 for snatches and windmills. Is it good to gain muscle? Gustavo, weight depends heavily on your technique. You can build good muscle with a 12 kilo only if you make sure you have a high working load. What does that mean? If you work 5 minutes with 12 kilo and you have a decent pace, you crank out some decent reps, you have a total volume. Let's say like you do snatch 15 reps per minute for 5 minutes. That's, what is this? 50, that's 75 reps times 12. All right? So that's, what is this? Let's say like over 800 kilos, 700 kilos. That's your working load. Stick with this. Because if you use a 16, your pace is probably lower or slower. And you probably do the same workload or maybe even less. All right? So you get what I'm saying? So focus on the workload. Do more workload with lighter weight because that can make sure that you stay safe, improve the technique, and build muscle. And like I want to mention this again, Brett Schoenfeld points to the fact that you can build good muscle, solid muscle with lighter weights. Dumbbells are dumb. No offense. Olivier. Got you. Dumbbells are a different type of training. Double presses are no joke. Yes. Olivier, I know, just joking, but I believe that there's a lot of content about dumbbells. The kettlebell stuff is much more needed. You're right, Olivier. At the same time, the way we train with the kettlebell, we want to apply this type of training to dumbbells. So maybe, guys, we'll give it a shot, and we hope the Kettlebell Club shows up to give it a shot if you have dumbbells at home and give us your feedback. And there's nothing in Spanish. Alexia, yeah, we talked about this. You mentioned this in the Instagram. Man, it's something that we have to focus on. And maybe even translate the stuff into Spanish. Yeah, that's something that we really have to think about. Yep. And if you speak and understand English, LB is great. What is LB? I don't know in Mexico, but in Spain, there's only one guy who does proper kettlebell stuff. Let us know, Alexia. What's his name? Always looking forward to getting to know people. And just with Geoff Newport, I never heard of him. Now, checked him out. I'm gonna check out what he does as well. So, guys, I think that's it. Woof! Another 2-hour stream. My God. We still have 23 people in the chat. Guys, can I ask you a favor? Like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. And let me know in the chat. Did you enjoy this? And let us also know. Oh, we stopped this meme. We got to bring this meme back. Let us know where you're from. Where you're from. What city, what country. So we can send you some love. We got to bring this back into the live workouts. Let us know where you're from. And then we can send you some love. But I think that's it. And you see, one of the reasons why... Lebe stark. That's us. Alexia, that's us. I thought you say LS. All right, that's over here. Alexia. You're great. You're great. Greetings from Peru. Gustavo, sending you love back. You see how many? Peru Spanish speaking, right? You see, Alexia? We got Spanish folks in the house. I could help with the translation if needed. Olivier, that's good stuff. We actually, you know what we're actually thinking about? Is translating the German stuff into the English stuff. Because we have so much German stuff that needs to be translated into English. Man, got to do this. Hope you can keep the biathlon style sessions included sometime during the week if we lost the Saturday kettlebell session. Yeah, the biathlon was killer, right? Actually, Angie and me, we're thinking about it. The dumbbell channel is just an idea. At the same time, we're investing so much energy, heart, and love into the kettlebell channel. And opening up a second channel is maybe something that's worth when your main channel has gained a lot of traction, maybe 500,000 subs, and then you want to try something new. Maybe that's one thing. So it's just an idea. Yet at the same time, the Saturdays, we want to keep them in the Russian style. We thought about a pentathlon. We did a pentathlon, I think that was almost a year ago. Then a marathon, guys. I told Angie, guys, we're going to do the marathon. You know what the marathon means? 4 exercises, 15 minutes per exercise, with 1 arm switch only per exercise, unbroken. So we can do 60 minutes of work without putting the kettlebell down. This is the marathon. We created this. Angie and I, we created this, and we're gonna do it soon on the channel. I hope you guys will be there. The marathon will be a killer, but we have to be rested and we have to stay. Maybe we'll take it after the break. That's a good idea. When we take a break from the workouts, the first Monday night workout is gonna be a marathon, and we want you guys to show up. It's gonna be a killer. It's gonna be a killer. Gustavo, yes, Spanish in Peru. Great pronunciation in your Spanish. Greetings. Thank you, brother. And Scott, Gregory. Oh, wait. Gregory, remember, I'm a translator. Yes. I know people. Yes. What's your take on club bells, Scott? Oh, Alexia, now I'm getting it. Man, you see, I'm getting tired. Alexia, that would be great. Do you know somebody who does German translation into English? And the second question, Alexia, would be not only texting, but also audio. Oh, that would be good stuff. Let me know, Alexia. And we're thinking about this Spanish stuff. We got to do it. We got to do it. Scott, what's your take on club bells? I think club bells are fine. We have some club bells here. Yet, what they're really good for is shoulder mobility and, internally and externally rotating the shoulder. This is good stuff. Oh, the light turned off, so that means I'm almost done now. But no comparison to kettlebells. I think kettlebells are superior to club bells. And where we at? Longto, I survived the first marathon, but I had to do more than 1 switch per exercise. That's totally fine, Longto, but it's great that you showed up at the marathon. We got to do it. Back then in the marathon, we had about 5 to 10 viewers only, all right, per session. And now we've grown to about 45. The last one was 45 live viewers. God, that was great. And guys, you got to join us for the marathon. Hola Gustavo, no sabía que eras de Peru. I didn't know that you're from Peru, right? That's what you said. And Scott Brown, clubs seem pretty interesting. Yes, they're interesting. Yet at the same time, like I said, I always have to give my opinion. Why do I always have to give my opinion, man? Olivier just shared his opinion, and I can say, yes, that's what's up. Dean, sounds amazing. Yes. Es bueno ver más gente que habla español. Yes, it's great if we have more people who speak Spanish, right? Is that right? Man, I love languages. Yes, Gregory, I'm up for the Spanish translation. You already know it. Yeah, we got to do it. And hola, I've been lurking a couple of weeks over here. The English content helped a lot. That's good. 20 people still in the chat now, guys. I think that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining. And before we leave, guys, before we leave, please, gotta put this on full disclosure now. If this content was not only worth your time, but maybe also worth your money, and if you want to join this awesome community, you see all these people in the chat with the LS logo right next to their name. Not only do they have the logo next to the name, they also can use custom emojis. They also have access to the private Facebook group where we have now some great links shared where people can profit from them. Some great stuff, some additional information. And you can comment on our live workouts because most of our live workouts, the live chat is for members only. So join the Kettlebell Club. Like I said, you get these awesome emojis. Angie's pose, the Grüezi miteinander is the formal greeting in Switzerland that you can use in the chat. My double biceps flex pose, the LS kettlebell, and you have Gypsy saying, let's go. And like I said, this awesome logo. And you know what's crazy? The logo changes colors. The logo changes colors the longer you are a member of the club. And like I said, we have this awesome community group where we always, whenever we post something, it's always German and English. And if it was worth your time, then subscribe and like the video if you're into kettlebells. Thank you so much for joining. We'll catch you on tomorrow's live workout. It's going to be a blast. Make sure you show up. Until then, peace out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more kettlebell content and more live workouts. If you want to financially support our YouTube channel, you can join the Kettlebell Club. There's a join button right below this video. It'll cost you only $5.95 and you will be mentioned in our live streams. And you will get a small LS logo right next to your name whenever you comment something. So that way people will know that you belong to the tribe. If you want to take it a step even further and you want to work out from home without any ad breaks, you can check out our 30 days of kettlebells workout course. I'm clicking on my 30 days of kettlebells course. On your left hand corner, you have all the chapters and the lessons. All these workouts are divided into chapters and into lessons. Right here it says, welcome to 30 days of kettlebells. We have some important information, blah, blah. So then when you're ready, you can click on continue and boom, you're switching into your first workout and it already starts. So here you got your first workout. As you can see, when we scroll down, you can see here is the description for the workout. No ads, no ad break. Okay, it's just the workout and you see the exercises, you see what you have to do. 30 Days of Kettlebells is an intense workout program that builds you up as a beginner without prior knowledge. That's what we specialize in. From now on, you will receive one of the following tasks each day for the next 30 days. You have a workout. So if a card pops up that says workout, here you will be tasked to work out. Simple. If a card pops up that says rest on your day 2 you saw previously, we believe that regeneration is also as important as working out. On these days, you can rest. Then we move on, you have cards that pop up that say rest and study. Here you can rest and you can study a specific topic that we'll cover in this lesson. And finally, you have some cards that pop up that say rest or workout. What that means is you can either work out if you feel like it, or you can take a break. It's only $49.99, so if you want to support us, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support our kettlebell courses, and if you want to enjoy something ad-free and learn something new and get a deeper understanding of the kettlebell and get a deep connection to us, then feel free to buy this course and have fun.